Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Podcast. It is yours truly, the Drip King, right here. Got the crown to prove it. And I'm joined, as always, by my man, Tidey, to the right of me, and Albert below me. We'll start with Tidey. I took the boom away from him. I'll give it to him right now. How have you been doing, Tidey? And happy early birthday.
Man, I've been doing good, man. I got 3 days off. And then birthday is tomorrow. I watched Raw and I saw something that made me jump. So I'm ecstatic right now. JD McDonough may go to Judgment Day. Last 4 years mean something to me.
Yes, I'm glad you pointed out the picture because I saw a bunch of people showing me that picture. He sent the picture of Finn overwatching the interview up, and I didn't even catch it, man. I didn't. I saw the picture and I was like, what's the significance of this picture? And then you kind of like broke it down. So I appreciate that. That's very cool. I figured he was going, but now they're tying into it. So that's good. Albert, you've been patiently waiting down there. Your turn. You're up to bat. How has your week been? Hopefully you're like 100% at this point.
Yeah, thank God, fully back, and busier than ever. 5 days at work, and then the past 2 days I've been filming the movie that I'm working on. But I'm happy to kind of just be here, relaxing a little bit, and not having to have that much pressure on me and talking wrestling with you guys.
All right, and we got a lot to talk about tonight because this week of wrestling is about to be like big. This is a big week. But before we do that, we got some comments. Looking good, babe. No, it is you that is looking good, but I appreciate you letting us know that the stream is A-OK. Says hello to you guys as well. Courtney in the chat says hello.
Courtney.
Happy birthday and 6-man tag tomorrow. So, hey, yeah, while we're on the subject of this 6-man tag tomorrow, who is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking for their partner?
I think me and you have the same idea, Jimmy.
I would hope Tidey has the same idea as well.
I don't even know, man. I haven't even thought that far ahead.
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus it's Bloodline, ain't it?
Yeah. Is that what I saw on the Twitter dump?
Oh, it's Imperium.
Oh, that's right. It's Imperium. That's right.
It's Imperium.
I was like, man, Bloodline. I really hope not. That doesn't sound right. But yes, Imperium. Thank you. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and a mystery partner taking on Imperium tomorrow. Who are they picking?
I pick a big guy. I go Bronson Reed. Screw it. It may not fit the universe of baby faces and heels.
It don't fit the universe, but hey, we're gonna put Bronson Reed in things. I'm not gonna complain. Al, who you got?
So I actually like the idea of it being Bronson Reed. That does make a lot of sense, but I think Matt Riddle's the right choice. I think that after we see after everything that happens at Night of Champions, we'll see what goes on as it pertains to the Intercontinental title. I think we kind of know what's going to go on as it pertains to the Intercontinental title. But, I think that Matt Riddle and Gunther at SummerSlam sounds like a banger to me. Yes. So let's get that started, And we have history. Riddle's, been the third guy for Owens and Sammy in the Bloodline feud. So yeah,
exactly. And Riddle also sucker punched Gunther before the Battle Royal. And Imperium took Matt Riddle out of the Battle Royal. So everything is like Riddle. It's Riddle. It's Riddle.
It's all coming up Riddle.
I'm all for it because Riddle and Gunther for the IC titles are going to be. I've seen this match before, and it was fantastic. They're much better now than they were then. I can only imagine it's going to be better. But that's for Raw. We're not here to talk about Raw. We are going to do some predictions. We'll do predictions, then we'll talk about the main subject, which is Roman. Is Roman afraid of Solo? Because, man, I got some cool stuff with that. And then we'll bounce over and do the other prediction. That way we split some things up. Tidey, just bear with us on the AEW one. Fill in when you can. If you can't, it's no problem. We'll do that one last, though. We'll start with Night of Champions. I do not know the match order, clearly, because I still don't have a job at WWE. Imagine that. But
how dare you?
I did set up the matches how I would do it. So I know I'm going to get some grief right out the gate with the first match. because everyone else has an idea, and well, I'm sorry. This is my show, and I'm going to do it how I want to do it. Match number 1. We've talked about it a bit before. We're going to talk about it a little bit now. Seth freaking Rollins taking on AJ Styles in the finale of the World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. I think we're all in agreement here, but just for the sake of the show, who are we taking? Tidey, I'll let you go first.
Seth Rollins. It's the only way to do it. If Grayson wasn't like, hey man, I gotta earn some respect, then I would be all for possibly picking AJ. But Seth Rollins is a universal fan. I mean, we all want it to be him.
Yeah. Albert, are you saying anything different here?
No, not at all. It's Seth Rollins for the win. I'd love it to be AJ. Don't get me wrong. Because I don't care. This is one of those matches where I don't care who wins. I think that no matter what, the fans win because we get this match. But it's Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and I'm clearly taking Seth Rollins as well. I think they've kind of proven that it's going to be Seth with the way they've booked things on SmackDown. A little bit premature on some of their things, but it is what it is. You can't take it back now. It'll be all right. The match itself is going to be fantastic, though. And I think because it's so kind of obvious who's winning it, and we're literally just tuning in because it's going to be so good, it makes the absolute most sense to have it open the show. Like, get this one out of the way, let us celebrate, and then let's go on with the rest of it. That's what I would do, me personally. But again, I'm not hired yet, so one day, Seth Rollins cross board, clean sweep. That's it. We've talked about before. We'll move on from there. This next one, I don't know if it's a match yet. I think it might get announced tomorrow night because they kind of teased it last Monday. I do see it happening though. She's been on every card with women on the show so far, and it's Natalya, and she's challenging Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship over on Raw. For those that are still annoyed by that, I'll just keep repeating it for you. I'm very certain this is another clean sweep here, but for the sake of the show, Albert, who you got here and why?
I'm so laughing about the women's title thing. Do they know that that's what's happening? Yeah, I think they know that they run the company. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure they have an idea. They just haven't executed it yet. Just we'll get there. Rhea Ripley. I mean, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Tidey, are you saying anything different?
Oh no, yeah, Rhea Ripley. Yeah. Period. I don't even want to. It's not even worth talking about. I'm gonna stop right now.
I will say this: I'm not a fan of Natalya. I think anybody who watches the show or listens to me on Twitter knows I'm not a fan of Natalya. I do, however, want to give her credit because when Rhea got called up, and she won the title from Asuka at WrestleMania 2 years ago, she had a string of horrible matches. It seemed like she was lost, and she was just missing that thing that made her so special in NXT. It was Natalya that snapped her out of it. It was Natalya that gave her the first good match on the main roster. And ever since that match she had with Natalya, she's just been all the way to the roof. So I think it's very cool that Natalya's getting the first, I guess, title shot, unless you want to count the Zelina one. But the first program on Raw for Rhea is Natalya. I think it just makes sense. We knew Rhea wasn't going to lose the title this early anyway, so you might as well just have it with Natalya. Natalya is a person who's going to give her a good match. And
right.
Yeah. So I'm not mad that it's Natalya. Rhea's going to smash her, though. Smash her. Courtney says AJ Styles. It's not a clean sweep because she's saying AJ Styles. And my lady's saying AJ Styles. So, oh, my goodness. She said Seth is in the new Captain America. Hell yeah. I love Cap. I love Seth. That's a great combination. And then, what is up, noob? Thank you. It's not my birthday. I appreciate it. It's not my birthday, though. This man over here, I got that right. I had to do both. I'm always confused. Right here. My birthday. The good-looking one over here to the right of me. Got it. Yeah, that's his birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday to him, not the Drip King. But I do appreciate it anyway. So yeah, we're just gonna move on again because that match is just
yeah.
Man. Another one. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. we're not going to talk about who's going to win because we all know who's going to win this match. Excitement level. We'll switch it up a little bit. Tidey, what is your excitement level for a Mustafa Ali versus Gunther match?
Like a 7 out of 10. Because I know Mustafa Ali, he can wrestle, and he's going to want to show out at Saudi. Period. I mean, isn't he from Saudi? So
I think he's got like heritage. It's tied to Saudi. But
no, I'm thinking what's his face? Mansoor.
Yeah,
should have been Mansoor,
Mansoor.
Man. We could have had Mansoor up in there. He would have represented.
I really thought Mansoor was going to win the Battle Royal on Monday. I was like, and then when he eventually got booted, I was like, this is bullshit. I was mad because I want to see Mansoor in the Gunther match. But
we'll see how positive he remains after getting smacked to death by Gunther. Hey, whatever. He's got something going, trying to be positive. I'm all right with it. But man, why is this first like big match going to be against Gunther? Dude, you could have had him with Bronson or somebody else. I don't know, man.
He is positively going to be feeling it right here on Sunday.
Everywhere.
Especially right, man. He's going to cave that man's chest in.
I was shocked he won. I was like, all right.
I will say this, Albert. I'm gonna let you, I guess, verify this for me, if you will. Usually, when it comes to time for a Saudi show, Ali and Mansoor, whatever it was at the time, they just kind of get thrown on the show. They're never built up to be anything. It's just like, oh, it's coming, so let's put Ali in this match and let's put Mansoor in this match. They haven't done that this time, in my opinion. I feel like they've kind of slowly been building Mustafa up the past few weeks to get to this point. Is that something you've noticed as well? And how much do you appreciate just that little bit of extra effort they've put in?
Absolutely. I think he's 3-0 in his last 3 singles matches. And they made it a very big, like they mentioned a bunch of times, he's a free agent. He's a free agent. He can go anywhere he wants. I think that they're putting his name out there a little bit more to give him a little bit more recognition, to build him up for, something like this. And I think this is a great starting point. I think that he's going to give a better fight than a lot of people were thinking to somebody like Gunther. And I love that they put Ali in this position. By the way, I love Battle Royals. I'm a huge Battle Royal geek. The Battle Royal on Monday was so well done, especially when they came down to the last 3. I loved how they had Bronson's got, Ricochet on his shoulders. Ali jumped up the top. I mean, just a really inventive finish for a Battle Royal. I love that. Give me something new. Give me something exciting. Ali always seems to do that. So I'm excited. I think he's going to put on a great match with Gunther.
Anybody that thinks that Mustafa Ali isn't going to have an outing here against Gunther needs to check themselves for real. Because
absolutely,
Mustafa is so good. He's so good. It's just Gunther's a beast, and he's just going to end up destroying him in the end. But
Gunther's never had a short match. I mean, it's always a hard-hitting match. It goes for a while. He puts people over. They look good, and then they look dead. It's just what he does.
He lets it be known that the person who lost to him, they gave it everything they had. They just got beat down. Like, I like that with Gunther. That's kind of the thing that I gravitate to him because he didn't even have a finisher there for a long time. He would just literally beat people down. And when they're done, they look dead in the ring. And that puts them over, though, because it's like, they literally gave everything they had. And Ali is going to do the same here. I would like it if in this match the positive Ali character kind of flipped and went babyface, because I think it could work as a babyface. It would be a little different. It wouldn't be funny, but it'd still work, I think. And this
kind
is
like
DDP. Huh?
Kind of like DDP and the that's not a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
That's not a bad thing. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think it could work. I've been waiting for Ali to have a something like this to work with and sink his teeth in, and he's doing it. So,
and he can make it work. He's so entertaining.
Yes, and he gives it his all with everything he does. So I hope it works for him. I really do, and I'm excited for the match. I think this could be the best match of the night. That's how highly I tout this match.
Yeah, it's this one in the world title match that I'm anticipating the most in terms of like work rate.
That's great. Yeah, that's gonna be a great match too. But I'm just on a Gunther kick. I don't think anybody. I think Seth is the best in the world, but Gunther's just on a roll. That man just shows out every time. But
it's 4 guys that are gonna put on. That are absolutely gonna be there to put on a show. It's gonna be so much fun to watch.
But yeah, another clean sweep there. No surprise. On to the next one. I don't think we'll have a clean sweep on this one, so yay for that. We are going with the rematch from WrestleMania. Bianca Belair defending her Raw Women's Championship on SmackDown against Asuka. Albert, do you think Asuka has a much better chance this time around than she did at WrestleMania?
Yeah, and I think this is a mistake. I think booking this match was a mistake. I think this was the whole idea and concept of what they're going to do is a mistake. Unless Asuka wins, and in which case, is this the place to do it to end Bianca's title run? I don't see it being here. I don't like it being here. I think it should be a little bit more high profile. I get that the concept might be, hey, let's do it at SummerSlam, but if we do Roman at SummerSlam, then we can't do Bianca and Roman at the same time. I'd be okay if this match was at Money in the Bank instead, where there were maybe more eyes on it. I don't like the idea. I think that Asuka should be the one to beat Bianca. I think that that's the right move. I think if you want to establish Asuka as the one, as like this heel buzzsaw that they want to establish her as, she needs to be the one to take that title off of Bianca. I don't think there's anybody else established enough that can take that belt off of Bianca and make it believable enough.
Not on SmackDown,
no. Not definitely not on SmackDown. Definitely not. And if it's going to be Asuka, it should be on a bigger stage. I think Asuka wins this. I just don't like that this is where it might end for Bianca. Or, I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a messy finish and they do a rematch. I'd be a little bit better off with that. I don't know. I'm just not happy with the idea of this and the concept of this match being booked in the first place. But
so that actually you talked about a little bit, Tidey. Do you see there being any way here where we get a screwy finish that sees Asuka, I don't know, she missed Bianca and Bianca loses her mind again, and that results in Bianca challenging Asuka at Money in the Bank, and that's where we have. I think Asuka's taking the title from Bianca. I
Thank you. I think
it happens at Night of Champions. That's me though. But with Albert, what he just said, I do think there's a chance that it could be a screwy finish and gets extended over to Money in the Bank. Do you see that kind of scenario being a possibility?
It's a possibility. I don't think it'll happen though. I mean, it's a smart way to do it. It truly is. I just want to see Asuka. So if they present Asuka as this is now she's dressed up like what are those things? Anyways, her look is crazy. It is.
I like the look though.
I love it. Yeah.
If Bianca was on, what was it, last SmackDown, crying the whole time because her eyes are burning, I thought that was ridiculous. I mean, come on. She's literally crying and trying to sell that. Asuka needs to go back to being a threat. Asuka needs to go back to chop, hit, kick. The person that fought Charlotte and handed Charlotte's ass, but Charlotte still won. I loved it. I think Asuka should win clean, and Asuka should beat her ass. That's what I think. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what I want to happen. So I'm going with my heart on this. I want Asuka to destroy her. Bianca's had long enough, dude. She's longest reigning champion, blah, blah, blah. They keep promoting that. It's time for something different.
Okay, so you were talking about how when she missed the Bianca was going crazy. Is that something you were like, why is she overselling that? Is that what we're talking about there? Or is you were
because there was a segment they shot back to her afterwards and she was still like, help me.
Did you catch what Asuka had said about it though?
Mm-mm.
It was a new experimental mist
the chili
with the cayenne peppers and all that. I like that Asuka did that because essentially she's protecting Bianca with the internet crowd because they were like, oh, she's overselling it. How could she do this? But Rhea Ripley was at the Royal Rumble not selling it at all. And it's like, well, here comes Asuka to say, well, it's a new one and it's more potent. And it was like, you know what? That was very cool of her to do because she didn't have to. And it helped Bianca not look like a complete fool.
Right.
Yeah. I agree then. Yeah.
So let's get this. The whole thing is a mistake. I think like what Albert said, yes and no, because who else do you put in this position? I think Asuka comes across as the only threat other than Charlotte Flair right now. Nobody else on SmackDown comes across as a threat. And we don't want to be, we don't want Bailey's involved with something
Bailey's
else right
busy. I know.
She's busy.
I'm
She's
sick of
busy.
Everybody's always
And
busy.
how
man.
many times have we seen Bailey and Bianca so far? I don't think
Yeah.
anybody wants to see it again. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
True.
You know, I love some Bailey, but I'm just saying. But again, who else do you put in this position? I just don't see anybody. Asuka, her booking is random. It's a cause. I think because of her character, it's hard to have her on TV every week. I think she would just kind of fade into obscurity if she was literally on every single week. You got to use her sparingly to make her seem like a bigger deal, like a special deal. But he says he's going to go with Asuka. I think, me personally, I think she just beats Bianca clean, and then that's it. I think that's the end of it. And then what's going on with these titles? I think after Night of Champions, they're going to address it. Night of Champions is a big night. It's about the top champions. So let that show happen, and then let's get the whole situation situated. That's what
early prediction, and and this just sprung into my head as soon as you said this. I think they situate and debut new titles at Night of Champions for both.
That would be very cool. That would actually be.
I think now, like I'm thinking about it now, I was like, this is the right time to do it. Why wouldn't they just do this now? I think that's what they should do. I'm probably wrong, but
it would be
cool.
It
would be cool.
I don't think it's worse than Cena versus Nexus, because Cena was obliterating like a lot of people. A lot of people's careers kind of faltered because of John Cena there. As much as I love the guy, he definitely did that. Bianca ain't faltered nobody's career yet, so
hey,
I do see the comparison. I do get the comparison, but I just don't think it's worse. By no means do I think it's worse. But so Tidey, who do you got? Who'd you get?
Oh, I'm picking Asuka.
And then Albert, who'd you get?
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say Asuka too. Screw it.
Dang! So I said it wasn't gonna be a clean sweep, and it was a clean sweep. Y'all didn't pick one.
You know what? All right. You know what? I take it back.
Fired. I gotta get new people on this show.
I take it back. I'm gonna go with Bianca, and I'm gonna say that they're gonna do something. Here's the thing. In my mind, I feel that they don't want to beat Bianca yet. Like, I think that they want to protect her. I have a feeling that maybe this is a screwy finish. They do last woman standing at Money in the Bank, and we see something where like they tie Bianca's hair, like so it's while she's laying on the floor, so she can't get up.
Hog tie.
Kind of a thing. Yeah, something like that. I think so that she's not beat clean, she's protected. Asuka still wins, looks like a badass, but you know everybody kind of gets their own thing. So you know what? I'm going with Bianca by disqualification.
Man, the visual of Bianca getting hogtied by her hair is just wild.
Right?
Why didn't Becky do that? That's a Becky Lynch move.
How is that not like? I feel like that's like such an obvious finish for her, like to really protect her. It's like I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, big time Bex for sure. Man, that's crazy that didn't happen. But okay, so he switched it to Bianca. Thank you. I didn't want everybody to be green on everything. Next match. I've done a good job here because I did men, girls. Now we're back to the men. Cody Rhodes, wow, versus Brock Lesnar. In the rematch, we got kind of a screwy finish last time. What are the chances we get another screwy finish here? Tidey, what say you, sir?
I say it's very likely, man. If Brock, that's what I'm saying about Asuka and what's going on with Brock and Cody now, because that was last year. You know, Brock was cheating against Bobby repeatedly, just wouldn't let us finish this damn shit. And now that he's a free agent, he can fight Bobby again, right? But with this, I think it's time to build people different. I think it's time to build Asuka as a beast. I think it's a whole new year. And when Drew McIntyre comes back, he can be a heel and a badass again. I think the same thing for Brock. I think Brock can finally destroy him. I mean, you don't get to say, look at my face on a camera and not destroy him at Night of Champions. I mean, you know, who's the coward now, Cody?
Yeah.
Make him a coward. Shit. Cody, as much as I want Cody to be that dude that really seems like an underdog that I want to get behind, he's still talking too damn good on that mic. He's still like, man, you talk about the power of positivity. Cody is on a damn tear on that shit, and I think he needs to be humbled. But the problem is then we'll have a third match, and then whatever. I don't know, man. I'm just for Brock whooping his ass. And that's the fan in me. I'm sorry. Cody needs to be humbled, and then I can get behind him better.
So you taking Brock?
Yep.
Okay. And Albert, what about you? How do you see this match going?
Completely the opposite. Cody all the way. I think this is the moment where everybody that complained and belly ached and cried a couple of weeks ago. Well, Cody beat Brock, but he didn't look good because he ran away afterwards. Yeah, because if I'm Cody, I'm going to sit in the middle of the ring after I pinned an untamed animal who's been trying to rip my face off for the past 3 weeks. I'm going to just stand there and go, oh, I beat you. Like, come on. Like, common sense, everybody. But if you wanted that moment, you wanted the moment where Cody was, beat Brock definitively, I think this is the night we get it. I think that, there's going to be some shenanigans going on. I see either if it's not a no disqualification match, I'm thinking ref bumps, chair shots, tables. I think they're going all out. I think that this is going to be a brawl. I think Cody wins, and he wins definitively. And I think that this is the start that pushes Cody to win Money in the Bank and propels him to cash in on Roman Reigns.
So this is a straight up one-on-one, right? There's no stipulation. This is just a fight, correct?
They just said a fight, so I don't know what that means. Okay. I would assume that at least I would hope that it would be like some sort of no holds barred.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that they announced that on Monday.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
because they're both at the arena tomorrow. They're doing a face-to-face, I think. So
is the contract thing tomorrow.
I think
Are they doing that for them, or was it someone? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. No, that was Trish and
yeah, you're right.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do think it'll be no DQ, and I think Brock Lesnar is going to absolutely destroy Cody Rhodes. One of my favorite things to watch in wrestling is Brock Lesnar obliterate somebody. It's
he's back. He's back.
Exactly, that man's back. When he handcuffed Roman and just obliterated him. He's a heel, but I loved every second of it. When he did something very similar to Seth Rollins and he F5'd him onto the gurney. I was like, dude, this man is unhinged, but I love it. I think we're going to see something along the lines of Brock just snapping at some point in this match and obliterating Cody. So much so that it kind of, in a sense that you kind of feel bad for Cody. Maybe he low blows him, and that's how the thing. I want Cody to still look strong, so I don't want Brock to just go in there and squash him. I want something to happen to where Cody gets caught, and then Brock just snaps. You could even have Brock get DQ'd because he refuses to break a hold. I don't know, something. I want something to happen where Brock just snaps and destroys Cody Rhodes, so that Cody Rhodes has to battle himself back in. Maybe even have Cody win by DQ, and then Brock comes and ruins his chances to win Money in the Bank, which sets up SummerSlam, the third match between the three, where Cody gets his definitive win over Brock Lesnar. Clean 1, 2, 3, and then he moves on to his next one. Which
I'm not mad at that at all.
Rumor has it that Bray Wyatt's in the mix for that. Very interesting. I don't know how it would happen, but if we get a Firefly Funhouse with Cody Rhodes, it's not going to happen. But my goodness, if it did, you'll have to call and check on me, man, because I'll be out of it. I was like, this is heaven on earth.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. Let's get these real quick. Brock needs to come in, much like on SummerSlam on a tractor, but he's gonna come in on a camel and he's gonna spit on Cody Rhodes. That's right. Spit on.
I like it. Book it.
1 time, 2 times, 3 times.
Brock's gonna carry a camel. It's gonna be the opposite.
he's gonna on to Cody Rhodes, bro.
He's gonna Chuck Norris that camel. Brock doesn't ride camels. He throws camels around.
Brock doesn't ride camels. Camels ride Brock.
I mean, if he's F5 and sharks, I imagine he'd get F5 a camel. It's not
right?
It's not out of the realm of possibility. And also, come on, go away. This mouse.
It's the quarter of the night right there, Tidey.
This mouse is so terrible. Also, that match is one of 3 main events. Just saying, oh no, it's 7 main events. There's 7 matches, so there's 7 main events. That's how I'm handling it from now on. There are no main events anymore. They're all main events, baby. That's what I'm saying to that.
I like it.
So Brock. Albert's taking Cody.
That's right.
That's fair. I just think we're getting 3 matches. That's the only reason I'm taking Brock here. But if he loses by DQ, I did call it. I see that one happening. On to the next one though. Another girl match. I can definitely see this co-main eventing. I know it sounds crazy with all the other big matches on, but this is Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus here. It's very huge names, 2 of the top names in women's wrestling in history of women's wrestling. So it's not crazy to think this could co-main event. Probably won't. I would like it if it did. Albert, who are we taking between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus here?
I'm gonna go Trish, and the reason why I say
Muted
so,
and booted. I'm just joking.
I love. By the way, this is the clash of probably my favorite women's wrestler of this generation versus my favorite women's generation of the women's wrestler of the past generation. So this is an epic match for me. I love that we're getting this. I was so happy getting the Trish and Charlotte match a few years ago, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if we're gonna get anything else that like this. I think Trish is pretty much done. I'm so glad that Trish came back. I'm glad that we're getting this. I think Trish wins. I think that Trish then kind of goes on to, talk about how she deserves a title shot. I think that maybe she gets one on Raw where Becky screws her. We get another rematch at SummerSlam where Becky, beats Trish. That's kind of where I'm thinking this is kind of heading. So I think Trish wins the first one.
Okay. And Tidey, do you see this being a kind of a trilogy thing, or is this a one-off? What do you think?
I think it's a one-off because Saudi fans, man, they love nostalgia. They love old acts. Sure. And Trish has looked good, so she can earn her spot at Night of Champions. So she has. And because I saw Rhea watching on Raw when Becky was walking up that ramp, and they're asking like, "Hey, you're looking at your," and then here comes Natty, right? Props to Natty though. She's still a veteran. She helps everybody out.
Yeah, she does. She does a good job at what she's there for at this point. She does a great job at it.
Yeah, she's helped everybody and every woman will tell you that in the locker room. But before that, Rhea's looking at her, so I think it's a one-off. It's over. But I hope they kill it because that promo from Becky, man, the Fighting Irish are back. You got JD, you got Sheamus, you got Finn Balor. I mean, you got Becky Lynch. They have been on a roll, and Becky's back to pure form. That's what they were saying. The commentators were saying it. So I can't see Becky losing. Nah, man, unless Trish does some cheating ass shit, and then we got another match coming. I need it to end. Becky squashes. That's what she's gonna do. I hope.
Anthony, Roman scared. So we're about to touch on that subject as soon as we do the next match. That's going to be our segue into is Roman afraid of Solo, and we're going to dissect it a little bit. So stay tuned, my man. I got some stuff I'm going to break out. This is where I shine my brightest. So stick around for that. I do think this goes on past this. I don't think we get a trilogy though. I think we get 2 matches. I think they run it back at SummerSlam. I think Becky Lynch ends up in the Money in the Bank, and she ain't going to win it. I do want to say, you guys have kind of said pretty much everything. I do want to say whoever's idea it was to turn Trish Stratus heel.
Yeah.
Because she's so corny as a babyface at this point. Like, sorry. I'm sorry, Trish. Hashtag that. But
I think that it was great when she came back for Charlotte. I think that's exactly what they needed. They needed the strong babyface to go against the heel that Charlotte was. But I think coming back here, it was great to reintroduce her because I think it was going to be hard for her to be a heel right off out of the gate.
The first night.
The heel turn, though, I mean, perfect. Masterfully done.
Yeah. I didn't even like her when she came back with Charlotte, though. It just felt kind of corny to me. But that's me. I'm not saying it was wrong. That's just, to me, it was. Courtney said she got Trish winning. So, Tidey, you got Becky, correct?
Yes.
Albert's got Trish. I'm taking Becky because I'm never betting against Becky. That wouldn't be the Drip King Jimmy Bay if I bet against Becky. So, Becky Lynch for sure is taking this one. Trish is going to want some revenge, though. I think Becky just gets it like in a roll-up or something. I don't think she beats her clean. I think she does beat her clean. I don't think it's a definitive win, though. And that's what causes Trish to come back like, I don't think so. So I do think the match is going to be good, though. And with that, we move into what I believe is the main event of the show, the tag team title match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa as they try and take the titles away from our guys, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Tidey, what do you think the odds are that Roman Reigns walks out of this show with 4 belts?
It's like a 25% chance because it's Roman Reigns.
I'm glad you didn't do the cop out and say 50. I was like, he's gonna hit me with that 50. He's gonna do it. Thank you.
No way. It's low, man. It's low. It's possible. I mean, because we don't know if even that there at Night of Champions, somebody comes running along. What if it's Jay? What if something happens? We don't know what could happen because they can just add story to it. I doubt it, but that's the 25% possibility. Some weird shit we didn't see coming because it's bloodline story time. But not happening. Can't happen. No.
So you're taking Sami and Kevin Owens?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Albert, we got Roman Reigns going for 4 belts here. What do you think there's a possibility that Roman Reigns or Solo Sikoa walk out on each other during this match?
I don't think so. I think
what we saw on Friday, they kind of tease a little, but
first of all, we gotta get into that tease after this is all said and done because there's a lot to be talked about when it comes to that. I'm gonna be that guy. I think we see new champions. I think that they're gonna make Roman do exactly what the Usos couldn't do to show them up, and I think that's gonna be that catalyst for the Usos to be like, you know what, I need to go out there and like if that's fine. If you guys have the titles, we have to face each other. Then we're the number one contenders. We're the best tag team in the world. If you're gonna do it, if it's gonna be you guys, then we gotta have to take you down. There's the fraction of bloodline right there.
Here's my counterpoint. My counterpoint was on Raw. You saw people stepping up to the tag teams, whether it's Imperium lately. Judgment Day, Judgment Day need to run with those tag titles. Eventually, they need to beat them.
They need to split them again.
Dom and Damian need to be tag team champions for sure.
I mean, I think because you see people fighting more for the tag teams, they built so many tag teams. If you put it on Roman and Solo, it's just gonna piss the fans off. I don't think they want to piss the fans off because most fans be like, man, now we'll never see those titles for another 2,000-year reign.
I know, I can't wait.
I don't think they want people to think that. It could be something as simple as Roman. He's done it before, but he'll just walk out of the match. You know?
Yeah.
So ain't nothing wrong with Solo taking a pin. But Solo ain't going to be no Punk either. I'll tell you that. That's what we're going to talk about in a minute. Solo ain't going to be nobody's Punk. If Roman tries to flex on him.
Well, man, I'm so excited to talk about this.
So why did you look like you wanted to fight me there before when I was going through that?
You talking about Roman Reigns winning. That's why. Let's get the comment. No. I don't want Roman 4 belts at all. Let me just go ahead and say this right. I don't even hate Roman Reigns' reign. I know I'm not one of those people. I think it's been great. I
love Roman.
There's been moments where like it happened, and in the moment I was like, this is dumb. But then I let myself kind of just sit in it for a minute, marinate, and be like, you know what? No, I was just talking emotionally. It's not bad. This is actually really good. It makes a lot of sense. Roman 4 pounds is going to be stupendous. It's going to be stupid, what I tell you, because it ain't going to happen. And let me tell you something. I said it last week. I've been saying it all week, and I'm going to say it again right now. Sami Zayn is pinning Roman Reigns at Night of Champions. They are celebrating this man's, what is it? What I don't have the thing. They're going to celebrate his
1,000 balloons?
1,000-day reign. When is it?
I think it's Night of Champions that night. I think it's
Yeah. Because I saw something where they're going to celebrate it, I guess, next SmackDown. So it's like, that's weird. But you know what? It's going to be great because there's not going to be a celebration because the man took a pin on his 1,000th day as champion from Sami Zayn. If anybody has been watching this story and is not paying attention, the dissension is happening at the most perfect time right now with the Usos and Roman and all that. And now Sami's going to get his win over Roman Reigns. It's perfect timing. I did have my finger in the coming out of WrestleMania. I'm not going to lie. I was having the greatest night of my life there. I was walking down the street saying, we the ones, y'all the twos, the whole way back to the car. I did not put my hand down the whole way. That's another day, though. That was a one-time thing. I am now the twos again. Roman's the ones, but Sami Zayn is going to take the ones' head off, and then they're going to be the ones because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are retaining those titles. Now, with that said, so we got Sami and Kevin, Roman and Solo like a dummy. But that's okay. I'll allow it. I feel like the Usos are going to ruin the match, though. Yes, they are. Jay is going to cost it, which is now segue time because this is what I've been waiting for a not long time, since Friday night when I saw the moment happen. Roman Reigns is mad at the Usos because they attack Sami and Kevin. He starts running his mouth to him. He goes to leave. He shoulder bumped Solo Sikoa, and everyone was like, yo, Roman looks scared of Solo. And Solo kind of gave him a look. Roman left, and then Solo went over his other shoulder and looked at him as he was walking away. And it was like, okay. So I'm going to get y'all's opinion. We're at the 40 mark. I want to limit this to 15 minutes, this segment. If it's shorter than that, that's great. But I want to limit it to 15 minutes. So with that said, Tidey, you had your hand up. I'm going to let you go with it. What did you take away from this segment?
All right. So before the segment, think about who Solo is and who he was and who he is, period. They call him street champ, street fighter. All right. So Solo doesn't get punked for nobody because that's his street cred. And that's the guy he plays. When you see him looking back on both sides like that, Solo's the kind of guy that it's kind of like a bouncer. And that's kind of what he's been doing. The bouncers keep their back against the wall. So when he's doing this and looking that way, and then he stops and does a double, that's because he doesn't trust him. One, his back is now to him, which would never happen, but he's looking that way like that. That should not be a thing. 3, his name is Solo. The dude rides solo, man. So I don't think that Roman is exactly scared of him, but he was at a 10 when he yelled at Jimmy and Jay. And then when he turned around to bump, he realized it, and then he hit him. So he had to calm down. And yeah, it's Solo. He respects Solo. Storyline-wise, he respects Solo. Solo get things done. You can even say, to play the devil's advocate, that's his favorite. That's the guy you can depend on.
Yeah, Solo is definitely Roman's favorite. And I'm gonna touch more on that with my whole spiel.
But he didn't do exactly a fear thing, I think, when he looked at him. But he respects him so much, he calmed himself down. And then he kind of shook his head a little bit, like, I need to snap out of it. But that is a high amount of respect, and respect is close to fear. So it is literally up to interpretation right there. I would say it's that much respect does garner fear. So I just wanted to say that one part about it.
That's fair. It reminds me of a Michael Scott quote. Would you rather be feared or would you rather be loved? I want people to be love me. So I can't remember what it was. It's a brain fart now. I want people to love me so much that I screwed it up. I screwed it up.
They love me so much that they're afraid of how much they love me, or something like that.
Something like that.
And it's Roman. Roman doesn't have to say after he bumps into him, he's sorry. He's the tribal chief, but he does respect him. So there was a gesture in his facial emotions alone that was an apology in his own way. But Roman ain't gonna come out and say it, because at the next 2 segments, you didn't get Roman. Solo was looking like this. He looked a little more intent as Roman was talking. That's for sure. Roman just now chewed out his brothers, told them to kick ass rocks. Yeah. And they kick rocks. But Solo is still there. And at the end, Solo's about to get up and go handle the Sammy and them interrupting. And Roman calms down and grabs his leg. And Solo's still a soldier. But the fact is, in Solo's head, he doesn't trust Roman, is my opinion, because he now went like this and went like this and had his back to him. He was not. What did the Usos do a couple weeks ago? They tried to calm Solo down. He was going on a rage in there. You don't want Solo to get to a 10. And I think everybody should know that. They're presenting Solo as a badass. And I got to say, he's playing that street credit, that street champ perfectly.
Yeah. He's been booked perfectly. Let me get these comments out real quick, and then we'll go to you, Albert. Sorry. Hey, Cameron, no worries about it, bud. You're here now, and that's all that matters. Thank you for joining me. You one of the most supportive people we got, so I appreciate you being here, man. If you got to be here late, that's all that matters. But thank you. And what's funny about this is I was literally bragging to her. I was like, I think I've overtaken you in office trivia now, and then she had to come and bail me out and save me on this one. You got me, babe. I was talking out of pocket. You definitely still got me. He said it was. He said he could beat me. No, you got me still. I'll be back next year, though, for it. Are you guys ate it? Yes, I am. Albert So. Tidey watches when he can. We're going to be talking about Double or Nothing after this part of the show. So if you want to watch that, stay tuned, bud. Right there we are. And Anthony, yeah, I really enjoy AW. I also have a AW recap that I do on this channel on Wednesday nights after the show if you want to check that out as well. This is his first time joining. Yes. First time participating. I'll put it that way. I've said hey to Anthony. I've acknowledged Anthony. I've acknowledged the man. Albert, what did you take from the segment, the ending of the segment on SmackDown?
Just Roman is a storyteller, and he doesn't have to say a word to do it. And it's unbelievable how how far he's come from the guy that was saying suffering succotash in the middle of the ring to being this, absolute unbelievable storyteller. The look of, you can tell the second the Usos came down, Roman was pissed.
Yeah.
You saw it on his face. You can see the frustration, but when he bumped Solo, there was 4 different emotions that washed through his face in 3 seconds. It was fear. It was like, first it was like anger, and he was upset, and then he realized who it was, so he was a little like less
upset. Who bumped into me? Who bumped? And then he's like, "Oh, it was Solo. I'm sorry. I'm done with this shit."
It was like, well, my bad. No, wait, I'm Roman. I don't say my bad. I'm done. I'm just gonna get out. Like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think that we're to a point now where Roman is afraid of being Solo. Because we started off where it was Roman by himself all this time, and what did he get? He got maligned by the fans. No one backed him. Everybody booed him out of the building. And then as soon as he wasn't Solo anymore, because remember, his major success in the beginning of his career, he's with the Shield. He goes Solo, so everybody turns on him.
Yeah.
The second he's not Solo anymore, now he's on the run of a lifetime. I think Roman is scared of being Solo. And I think that if he loses Solo Sikoa as a supporter, that makes it even worse, because Paul Heyman ain't loyal.
Paul's going with Solo. When Solo leaves, Paul's going with Solo.
Exactly. And you don't think that Roman probably has that in the back of his mind right now, knowing, all right, if my bloodline isn't in order, you don't think that he thinks that Paul Heyman will screw him? Look at how Heyman came to Roman. He screwed over Brock. Heyman will do that to anybody. He's going to hitch his wagon to the person he knows that he's going to be able to. That's going to be able to make him the most money. And if Roman loses the championship,
Solo's
more money in Solo Sikoa than there is in Roman Reigns, because Solo's got a lot more years left on him. I think that this is the perfect story. I think that there are rumors that we're going to get to see the Usos versus Roman and Solo. I want to see that match so bad. I there's a part of me that is really happy that KO and Sammy are still a team, so that they're able to, almost be a part of this without even being a part of it. Because even if that's the tag match, there's got to be something where if KO and Sammy are still the tag champs, they're going to go and be like, all right, guys, Usos, if you win, we acknowledge you as the tribal chiefs. We have to give you another title shot, I feel like there's just so many seeds that were planted, and all these trees are going to grow from it. I think that we're in the midst of some of the best storytelling we're ever going to see, and I don't think we're anywhere near close to it being over.
Yeah, no. Get these out of the way, and it's also weird. I did not notice this, so if this is legit, thank you. But I noticed that he doesn't do the ones. I've never seen Solo do it, but apparently Anthony here is saying that when he does his entrance with just Reigns and Heyman, Solo does do it. If that's true, that's very interesting, and it kind of deflates my theory to an extent. I'm still going with it because I think it's brilliant, but how Solo get over is my man Thomas, because he came in when Sami Zayn was there, and it was just so hot. Anybody attached to it was just it. That was right. He was also Sami's number one guy there for a minute. He was like he rocked with Sami before everyone else. So
Sami was training him, remember?
Yeah. So that's part of it right there. He just great timing.
And his debut is at Clash of the Castle, screwing over Drew McIntyre.
Courtney says she's seen it too. So okay, I don't think he hates the Usos, and I'm gonna break it down right now. I don't want you to bring up when they were in Saudi and he came out and he helped Roman. That's not what I'm looking for here. The answer I'm looking for: why is Solo Sikoa a part of the bloodline?
He was put in to check, and then Roman put him in check, and Roman brought it up like 3 weeks ago. Like,
the
oh
ancestors.
yeah, I was worried about you at first, but now look at you.
Yeah,
You're,
the
you're answering to me.
ancestors.
Yeah.
The ancestors put Solo Sikoa in the bloodline. Why would they do that?
He's
Because
got
they didn't
street
like what
cred.
Roman Reigns was doing. Do you think the ancestors are liking what he's doing right now to the Usos? So when Roman Reigns bumped into Solo Sikoa, he had a flashback like, oh shit, Solo's here to make sure I don't do this kind of thing. And that's why he was so like, oh shit, I can't piss him off. I don't think he's scared of Solo. I think he's scared of what's going to happen if Solo does what he's supposed to do. And that is put Roman in check for the ancestors. I think this whole thing, I know the Rock thing has been beaten to death, and I apologize for even bringing it up, but I truly believe that this is how we're going to get to Roman versus the Rock. It might not happen at this year's Mania because I think Cody's winning, but I don't know at this point. I really don't, because they just keep pulling things out of their hat and changing things up and switching up. It's so good. But I truly do believe Roman was like, shit. He's the one I can't anger, because the second I anger this guy, it all comes crashing down. He needs Solo, not because he's keeping the title, because he's what's keeping the bloodline in Roman's pocket, in his fist, whatever we're going to talk. Solo is he's the biggest factor in this whole thing. If Solo's good with Roman, Roman can go on and keep doing business. The second Solo is no longer riding with Roman, Roman loses everything. The empire collapses, everything falls down, and that's going to happen right before Mania, and that's why Cody Rhodes will beat him at Mania, and that's the story, and it's great. But maybe that doesn't happen now. I don't know. But that's what I think happened on SmackDown when Roman kind of turned. I forgot, for a split second, that I did forget why Solo was there. I thought he just joined because he's there. But then I was like, wait, no. He was put there for a reason. And now we're about to start revisiting that, I think.
Good.
I think you might see Solo. No, I think it's too soon for that. But I think it was also done because we all thought like, oh, well, Solo's going to help his brothers. So when now they're showing dissension between Roman and Solo, that makes people really think it's going to happen. So that when Solo sides with Roman and takes out the Usos, it's like a shock, because that's what they're looking for with the story. They've done it very well up until now. They've always shocked people, but that's what I think they're going with it. And let me get these real quick. So he was in NXT for about a year, maybe. He was decent in NXT. He didn't do anything special, crazy, but he's part of the bloodline. He's going to get over pretty quick when they establish that he's part of the bloodline. That's all that is. What's this note to, Lou? Gotta let me know. Is it something I said? You trying to argue with me? How does Solo have that kind of pull, though? How he's got that kind of pull because the ancestors are who put Solo in the bloodline. They sent Solo to the bloodline to make sure Roman is in check. It was Alpha, Sika, Rikishi, whoever it is. It might have been The Rock, honestly.
I mean, if Roman is a proud man, when they first came out that pay-per-view and they put those red things around him, and they what was after when he left, that's when they put the whole red tribal thing around his neck. It was them that did that. Yeah. So they just need to kind of explain the story. Right now it's just inferred. But
yeah, for sure.
But they need to explain that at least a little bit. I mean, because then it makes a lot more sense if Jimmy and Jay, out of respect, I mean, because they are human. They're getting treated like dogs, right? They are human. I mean, so if something's keeping them there, like the elders are saying, no, this is important. You back the family business, blah, blah, whatever. But they would back them because they love and respect them. But what happens when Roman's not loving and respecting them anymore? They're staying in for one reason. It's the family business. They want him to. And I think they're just taking Solo's word for it. That's why Solo doesn't say nothing. Yeah. Solo says nothing, and that makes it perfect. So I would love to hear Solo say, man, The Rock needs to talk to your ass.
All right, so
or
we
some
got
shit.
Less than a minute. I'm going to try and pin this out real quick, and then we'll jump to Tidey segment before we jump into the Double or Nothing show. So we're talking about how I forgot where I was going with it. But, you were talking about how you wish they'd explain a little bit more. I think when it happens, that's when you're going to get the explanation. Because talking about it beforehand kind of gives you that idea, it's going to happen, and then you expect it. And that's not how they've run this bloodline storyline at all. They've done a really good job of just kind of keeping us on our toes. So once this happens, I think that's when the Solo thing comes to light. And again, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it's that crazy The Rock is the one that sent him. Because if we were to realistically think, who's the head of the table before Roman? The Rock. So if The Rock goes to Solo, it's like, hey man, do me a favor. This guy's getting a little bit too big for his britches. Don't let it happen. And then when he does, that's what he's doing. Heck yeah, I'm feeling Uzi all day, every day, baby. He the one, we the twos, but we the twos because we Uzi, baby. First thing he says, yo, Dwayne trying to man, Lou, he's funny as that's Tom, man. That's Tom. He's funny as shit too, though. This jabroni gonna get it. That's right. And then Lou says, I was saying Solo gonna. I think he eventually will, but not at me. He's gonna turn on first. I do. He thinks they're gonna jump Roman. Not now. It's gonna be later this year for sure, though. For sure. After we get Roman and Jay. That's what I'd say. But segue. That was off that. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we got other things to do and we're running out of time. Tidey has a new segment that he wants to introduce. I'm gonna swing the reins over to him. He's gonna take over, and then we're gonna follow lead. So welcome to the captain's seat, sir.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, so my question for Jimmy, Albert, say some stuff if you want.
Sure.
But I really want to hear Jimmy's opinion on this. With the 3 unbeatable champions as we see going, Roman, Gunther, and we can see it too with Rhea. Who at any time soon, if they can do it before WrestleMania, shit, even this year, who can dethrone one of them? And because it's really hard for me to see right now, and it makes it a little bit predictable, at least in my eyes. And I know a lot of fans, we don't see past that. We don't look into all that. But, man, if there's anybody that can knock off Roman, Gunther, or Rhea, do you have anything in mind lately?
Okay, so I'll just do a breakdown of this real quick. One, I'm going to take Gunther off this list. I don't see Gunther ever losing the title. I see Gunther winning a world title and having to drop the IC title. And that's the final step in making that IC title extremely relevant again.
I love
the world champion
that.
is now the Intercontinental champion is now the world champion, and he had to relinquish it. That's what we're dealing with. That puts the Intercontinental title on a whole nother level, and that's what I think is going to happen with Gunther. And I think he beats Cody Rhodes for that title. When, I don't know, but that's what I see happening with Gunther.
I love that.
Table. Rhea Ripley, off the table, because I'm looking at the Raw roster, and I don't see anybody on that roster right now that I can believe takes the title away from her, other than Becky. But Becky's in the stage of her career where I don't think she wants titles anymore. I think she's there to help the business grow and be a success when she's gone. And in order for her to do that, she's got to put over Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley's the last one she needs to put over. And then I'm just going to throw out a name here. It's going to sound crazy, but I think an NXT call-up is what takes out Rhea Ripley, and it's because it's a surprise. And I'm just going to go ahead and say Tiffany. I think Tiffany's the one that's going to end up taking the title off of Rhea Ripley. But that's way down. Rhea's going to have a run of a lifetime, a Bianca Belair type run. So that leaves Roman. And I see a bunch of people that could take the title off. I know that sounds crazy because the man's about to be champion for 1,000 days. But he's got Cody Rhodes, who's a very real possibility to take that title off him. I think there's a possibility Jey Uso takes the title off him. I think there's a possibility Solo takes the title off of him. 2 of those 3 could happen before WrestleMania. So I do think, honestly, all 3 of them could happen before WrestleMania. I think the Cody one should be at WrestleMania, but it could happen beforehand. He's saying I'm wild. I'm not wild, man. Everything I'm saying makes a lot of sense. I'm not talking out my ass. I know for a fact I'm making sense right now. I just,
all right.
If I'm gonna let Albert take the reins here, and if he has anything that makes sense, I'll gladly switch up my thing. But based on what I just said, I see Roman being the one that loses it, Cody with the most likely one to beat him, and then I would say Jey Uso is the second likely, and Solo Sikoa is the third most likely to take the title off of him.
This is the most historic. This is the most historic run of our generation. 1,000 days. Something that we as wrestling fans growing up never thought we'd ever see. Even and we're all relatively the same age. We all grew up and watched wrestling, during that same era of seeing like Hogan had that monster run, and then Hogan lost, and then no one ever got close. 380 days of John Cena, 434 of CM Punk, 500 and maybe it's 580 for Brock Lesnar. No one's come close to 1,000 days. If anyone's breaking that, it has to be the guy. The guy it has to be the baby face that they need to strap the rocket to. That needs to be the guy for the rest of the time. It's got to be Cody. It can't be anybody else but Cody. If it's going to be anybody, it's got to be the guy that they're going to push as the future of the company because he needs it the most. He needs that accolade. If it's anybody, it's Cody. If it's anybody else but Cody, they've made a mistake. Because I don't see Jey Uso being the face of WWE for the next 5 years. I don't think Solo has the mic skills and I don't think he's there yet.
If Paul Heyman is on his side, though, you don't think that he could be the guy?
But here's the thing: if you're going to beat Roman, you got to establish this person as a babyface. We've had a heel champion for 1,000 days.
What if Roman is
a babyface champion?
What if Roman gets switched to the babyface, though?
Then
I don't think it would be that hard to do.
And maybe that's the case. And if they do that, that's fine. But they're replacing a heel with another heel, and then they're going from unbeatable heel to the same story. It's just an unbeatable Samoan champion. I think they need to pull away from that. If it's going to be anybody, it's got to be Cody. I can't see it being anybody else because if they're going to strap the rocket to somebody, look, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. WWE has a severe problem right now that they do not have any top baby faces other than Cody Rhodes. That's it. They have Cody. Drew's on the shelf. Everybody else is, yes, Seth Rollins can be put up there, but for the most part, all these guys have been made to look as upper mid-card guys for these past couple of years because all they've been doing is battling for Intercontinental and U.S. titles because Roman's got a stranglehold on the world title. If they need to establish a major babyface. They need a John Cena on the men's side. They have Bianca Belair. She's perfect on the women's side. They need that equivalent. Cody's the one. He's got to be the guy to beat Roman. And I think we see him maybe win Money in the Bank, maybe cash in at SummerSlam. But there's going to be some way, somehow, Cody's going to take that belt off of Roman.
Okay. So with that, like I said, it's the most likely one. And I won't argue. It should be the one. What's that? Okay. I do think it should be Cody. I do think it should be Cody. I just want to touch on these comments real quick because he said, where'd it go? It ain't going to be Jay. I'm casual as F, but that ain't happening. And then this is the one I wanted. They ain't going to give the title to a tag team wrestler. Shawn Michaels says hello. That's all I'm going to say to that, Tom. Shawn Michaels, a tag team wrestler, says hello. I don't think it's going to be Jay. I think the story would be fantastic if it was. I think there's a story there to where Jay could win it, and it would work, and it would be great. That's why I bring it up. I don't think it's going to be Jay. I full 100% believe it's Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. I've been saying it since, Rumble, Tidey? I think it's Cody next year. I've been saying it for a long, long, long time. I'm just saying, if anybody who's been watching the story has been paying attention, they're seeing how it unfolds. Jey Uso winning the title from Roman is a way they could go that makes sense. And Jay has proven that he could at least be a transitional champion. He could at least be a transitional champion. So
I got two things to say about that.
Okay.
So I agree with you on Gunther because that was my guy, that Gunther would go up to the heavyweight championship. I wasn't thinking about him relinquishing the Intercontinental, which is beautiful. Love that. That works. I was going to have him beat Seth, whatever, and demolish Seth. Gunther, great. Roman, there is another babyface. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say Sammy. Sammy is over and is hot as all hell. KO barely even gets cheers when Sammy's in there. But KO is doing the fight Owens fight thing. They're letting Sammy get his time. I get it because Roman's got to address him.
Kevin Owens is literally stepping aside so that Sami Zayn can get his
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why
even doing that, he's still entertaining as all hell every week. Like Sami Zayn on Monday going, why are you always here? Like, why? I don't understand. Cracked me up. Like, it just got me. It's just so great.
Gentlemen and Dom, that was great too. Gentlemen and Dom. But yeah, I think Sammy, if he gets that pin, it at least makes the Sammy fans happy because WWE knows that crowd is going crazy for Sammy. So I think, yeah, there's another baby face. It's Sammy. And right now, he's still hotter. He is still hotter than Cody, in my opinion. Until Cody gets that sympathy and gets his ass whooped by Brock. Then I'll be probably on that Cody train. That's all I had to say, Jimmy.
Yeah, you get, and then just on the Shawn Michaels thing one more time. He said Shawn Michaels is different. I agree, Shawn Michaels is different, but you said different time too, man. You're right, because back when Shawn Michaels did it, it was very hard for someone of his size to make that happen. We are now in a world where literally wrestling is overrun by guys of that size. Jey Uso, his nickname was Main Event Jey Uso for their.
Jay's bigger than half the guys that we're talking about.
And Jay's not a small guy either, by no means. So, like, yes, I think they could if it went.
That's where I disagree with you. Why would you? That's a waste of a giant title run. Just have a transitional champion beat him.
When I say transitional champion, am I talking like one run, like 1 month? No, I think he would hold it for a few months. But I think the moment of Jey Uso beating Roman Reigns is such a big deal, and it makes sense for this storyline that I think it would work. I 100% think it would work. In hindsight, a year later, we'd probably look at it and be like, that was dumb. But I'm an in the moment kind of guy, and I can't help but think if that was to happen, I would lose my mind. I would be like, this is amazing. This is something I never thought I'd see, and I'm watching it happen, and they made sense, and they took us on this wonderful ride. Why wouldn't I be all in on that? That's crazy. And right there, that's all I'm talking about is for story, because I don't talk about when we're talking about bloodline. My head barely ever gets brought into it. It's always my heart, and the heart is that's it could be a thing. That I don't know. That's just me though. That's just
Sammy and Jay. I'm fine with it. Even Solo. I mean, Cody as well. To
reiterate, I don't think it'll be Jay. I will be through the moon though if it's fucking Jay.
If it is, yeah.
Let's get this real quick. Real quick answers. Who do y'all think should dethrone Austin Theory? Tidey.
I already had it written down here. Where is it? Oh, just Sheamus.
I knew it was gonna be Sheamus. Albert, who you got?
Pete Dunne.
All right. And I just mentioned To the Moon a minute ago, so I'll bring it back up. I think Cameron Grimes is going to beat Austin Theory and go straight to the moon, baby, because he is perfect for that spot. Tom was going to say Otis. Otis should dethrone everybody. He loves him some Otis.
I love Otis too. I'm sorry.
Otis. But that's that. So I hope we did our job there for you, Tidey. I'm going to go ahead and take the captain's seat away from you again. That's right, baby. Lou's on the train. He's on the Cameron Grimes train, baby. Cameron Grimes is that dude. So
I feel like they've kind of almost dumbed his character down just a slight bit on the main roster so far. I love him.
I feel like they've kind of smartened him up a bit because he's not like a crazy hillbilly now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
I like that portion of him. You know,
I did like him as a dumber character.
I kind of like he was kind of doofy. You know. Gotcha. I don't know. I like that part of his character. So I feel like you're right. He's smarter now. I think he's too smart.
Tidey, you had something?
I was going to say that I noticed what Albert's saying. It's just that he's saying to them. The thing is, the crowd doesn't know. Not all the crowd knows him right now. So when he's saying to the moon, you don't hear the whole crowd chanting with him. It'll get there.
Give it a month.
Definitely.
Yeah, give it a month.
There.
1 month. They'll be
same wavelength right there. I like that. Yeah, give it a month.
Yeah.
Let's get these comments. Cameron, there you go. Cameron Grimes, the Thrones, or my guy L.A. Yeah. I see L.A. Knight being the guy that could take it from Cameron Grimes. That's what I think. But okay, we're gonna move into AEW. We're gonna do these kind of quick. I don't want to spend too much time on them. We've already passed the hour mark, so just real quick answers. Then we'll move on. We'll wrap it up. Again, I don't know the match order. I put it in the order I would do it. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with
Tony Khan
versus Adam Cole, baby, at Double or Nothing in an unsanctioned match. Albert, you're shaking your head, so obviously I'll go to you first. What's up?
I'm just upset that Tony Khan hasn't hired you yet. This is ridiculous. Chris Jericho's my favorite wrestler of all time, but if Adam Cole doesn't win this, what is AEW even doing? If Adam Cole's not the next #1 contender for MJF's heavyweight championship, what is AEW even doing? This is Adam Cole on the comeback tour, baby. Let's give him a big win at his first pay-per-view back. Now that he's back from injury, I'm all about it. I'm on the Adam Cole train.
Here's where I'm a little nervous. Is the last time Adam Cole got a world title match, what got him there is losing an unsanctioned match against Orange
Cassidy. Yep.
Orange Cassidy hugged this man, fell off the stage, and he lost. And then Adam Cole's like, you know what? I deserve a world title match after that. And they gave it to him. It was like, oh, what are you I don't think they go that route this time. I do think Adam Cole gets his win. He definitely should. I think this match is going to be better than I would have given it. If you would have asked me about this 2 months ago, I'd be like, I don't know. Matter of fact, I was saying I did not want to see these guys in a program. I did not want to see the match. They've kind of sold me on it.
Same.
I think Adam Cole has done a really good job of being like, I hate this man. I'm going to mess him up. So I'm excited for it. I pick an Adam Cole, obviously, because, again, much like Becky Lynch, who would I be if I didn't pick Adam Cole in a match? Tom says MJF is gold. We're going to get to MJF.
Oh, he is.
That baby. Did you see him throw his drink on that kid and everybody lost their mind? That was good too. Here's your winner, Adam Cole, baby, 100%. Tidey, I'll give you an opportunity. Do you have a leg in this race?
Adam Cole.
Boom! Look at that. Oh, I hit the wrong thing, bro. You screwed it up, Tom. I had my mouse over this one. I was timing it perfectly. You ruined it. So good. Yeah. So there we go. Across the board, Adam Cole. Everybody takes Adam Cole. I like that, baby. Next up, Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS Championship in a rematch. Albert, is there any chance that Jade Cargill's finally going to lose her title here?
If they've waited all this time for Jade to lose to someone that they're bringing in as a veteran, I mean, why? What would be the purpose of it? I mean, it would be very AEW to do so, but I mean, if it's not at this point, they've waited so long for Chris Statlander to get healthy. Wait a little bit longer. Let Chris Statlander be the one. I'm glad to see this title being defended on pay-per-view. I'm glad to see that there was a story attached to this title being defended upon pay-per-view. Finally, Jade is, getting a story, and she's not just Squash Monster.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're doing that, but Jade wins.
Yeah, Lou, you funny man. I can't put that up there. Courtney says, Taya. I don't know if you have a leg in this race, Tidey, but if you do, go ahead and let me know what you're thinking.
I was going to say, man, it's okay every now and then to shock the system and do some weird stuff. I'm okay with that, but I got Jade.
Yeah,
but I got Jade.
Yes,
no,
yes,
shock the system, man. Jay Uso can win, and so can Sammy.
Y'all thirsty as hell in the comments right now. I'll say this: I think this is the first time I'm watching a Jade Cargill match thinking she has a chance to lose. And I don't think that because she should lose. I think because it might just be time. Like, it's not doing anything. This is literally the first. She's been champion for 500 days, and this is literally the first story they've given her that was like good. So yeah. It's like maybe get it off her and let her kind of move up the card a bit. I would love to see her get involved in the Outcasts angle, and taking the TBS title off of her at this point, I think helps you get there. So I'm gonna go with Taya. I think that's crazy. I don't like that it's gonna be Taya, but I'm gonna go with Taya here.
That's the only thing I don't like is that I just don't feel like it's going to be.
It's not going to be a big moment. It's going to be unfortunate for Taya, honestly.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill retaining. I can see her retaining it. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling about this one. I think Taya's going to take it off of her. And don't wait for Chris Statlander, because Chris Statlander wasn't doing it either. I don't know why everybody jumped on that train. I get it. We like her, but she wasn't doing it. She wasn't. I don't know. But yeah, on to the next one.
I like that she's young and it's somebody to build rather than just.
I get that. I think she's had two very lengthy injuries though, so it's like, do you want to put the title on her? It just seems like a weird decision. Next up though, we got the TNT champion Wardlow or Hobbs, or I don't know who the champion is anymore because they hot potato it so dang much. We got a ladder match here between Wardlow and Christian Cage with Luchasaurus at ringside, clearly. Hopefully Arn Anderson is at ringside too, and Luchasaurus will chokeslam him through the ring. Albert, do you see Wardlow losing his TNT title here to Christian Cage?
Has there been anybody in pro wrestling that's cooled off more than Wardlow? And he's holding a title.
Never.
Like, unbelievable, right?
They need to take him off TV and let him grow that man bun back. And then when he comes back, he needs to be without Arn Anderson. Matter of fact, just make him MJF's henchman again. Like, just go back to what was working, man.
So
he's fallen off so bad.
A buddy of mine who actually he's the guy who's directing the film that I'm assistant directing. So we drove into Brooklyn today and had a very lengthy conversation about AEW. And the one thing that we brought up was Wardlow was that guy that was built so well when Punk and MJF had that feud that you thought, okay, yeah, MJF's going to be the guy who's going to win the world title, but man, Wardlow's going to be right behind him. And it's been the whole time for Wardlow since. And like, you know, I love me some powerhouse Hobbs. If you're going to do that whole, you know, take a title to somebody for a couple of weeks to give it to Hobbs and give it back to him, I would have rather them done it with Orange Cassidy. Because they just derailed every piece of momentum that Wardlow, who should be a main eventer, should have. Now he's in a match against Christian, where if this was 4 months ago, I'd have been like, he's facing like an upper guy like Christian, like a main event guy. This is perfect. It's exactly where he should be. I've never been less interested.
I'm going to go ahead and correct you real quick. I think it's been longer than 4 months ago. I think Wardlow's been cooled off almost immediately after he beat MJF.
No, I agree. I completely agree.
So it's been a long time. And what's crazy about this is had that not happened, if Wardlow was able to keep his momentum, he'd be a perfect opponent for MJF as world champion right now. Because he beat MJF.
Match.
They've completely cooled off, and it's like, man, I think he's in a no-win situation here because if he loses, then it's like, oh, you've lost the TNT title again. But if he wins, people are going to be upset about it because he's just not with it right now. I think people want Christian Cage to beat him, and that's crazy because Christian Cage is the heel. He's one of the best heels they got. He's one that actually gets booed, but they want him to beat Wardlow right now. So it's like,
I think Wardlow wins, but man, it's so unfortunate. It really is. Like, I thought he was going to be the guy.
Yeah. Still TNT. Yeah. I don't ever see him being world champion at this point. Whereas before I saw him being a multi-time world champion. He's picking Wardlow. Lou here is taking Christian Cage. Chris Sandler was injured. It was an ACL. Those usually take between 9 months to 13, 14 months. So it very well could happen this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and take Wardlow. I think it would be a mistake to take the title off of him. But again, this is one of those situations where I wouldn't be surprised if Christian won.
I love Christian. Like, same as Jericho. Like, I hate betting against Jericho, but I mean, in this situation, it's got to be Wardlow. Yeah. And if it's not, I mean, really, what are they doing with Wardlow?
There you go, Tidey. What you got?
Oh, I was going to say, man, I got to start taking off now.
All right, man.
I got night plans before my birthday.
All right, man. No, you good. You good. I'll see you later, bud.
All right. Love y'all.
Later, man.
Happy birthday, buddy.
All right. So from there, we will go to the Double or Nothing Tag Team Title match. FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Who you got?
I mean, it's FTR. And, you know, FTR came back. They re-signed these big contracts. This was a very weird feud for me for them to come back to. I was like, Jarrett and Lethal. But, man, Jeff Jarrett makes everything that he ever does so damn entertaining. I am enjoying this feud way more than I should, way more than I thought I was going to. But it's FTR.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dax actually asked for this one because he loves some old school stuff, and Jeff is the king of old school. And I think that's why this feud has worked because everyone else that Jeff feuds with is kind of new school. FTR is very old school, so the meshing, it works real well here. Mark Briscoe is the special guest referee as a nice little addition to this. I'm going to sound absolutely crazy here. I think Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal win.
Really?
FTR, since they've returned, have been pretty just kind of stagnant. Like,
yeah,
it was what's going on here? It just doesn't. They don't seem like the FTR before their break.
I agree.
You know, they had 3 titles, and it's like, of course they. No, I just the aura of them. I just don't think they have that same thing going right now. I don't know what it is. I think putting the titles on them so soon, returning, it may have been what it was. I don't know.
I think so too. I think
they beat the Gun Club, man. It's not like it's that big of a deal.
And that's my thing. Like, a lot of people are like, they have a story and a history with them. Yeah, I don't care. The Gun Club, and still, in my opinion, taking the titles off of the Acclaimed, stupid idea.
Especially it being the Gun Club, like the whole thing was dumb.
And then it being the Gun Club even worse because look, if it would have been like Pride and Powerful or Private Party, I would have been like, or even butchering the blade, I would have been like, all right, cool. Like here's a bunch of guys that have been there since the beginning. They've kind of earned it. The Gun Club, yeah, they've been there since the beginning, but they've just been annoying background heels. They've never been, looked at as a threat. And now all of a sudden, they're the champs.
I will say I didn't really hate the Gun Club as champs. I didn't like that they beat the Acclaim when they did. I thought that was silly. But I think if they would have beat FTR instead of FTR beating them, I think that would have actually helped the Gun Club.
I agree. Yeah.
So, and I think Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, they almost beat the Acclaim for it. They won them, and then the screwy stuff, and they came back. But now that my man Lou here, he brought up FTR wins unless Briscoe betrays him. Yeah, Briscoe ain't betraying him. He's too babyface. You can't turn Mark Briscoe heel at this point. So
not yet.
Yeah, so I'm changing my pick. It's got to be FTR. Yeah. Mark Briscoe's going to get involved. He's going to do something with Dutton, Satnam Singh, and all that. But yeah, FTR is my pick. I can't believe I'm a Jeff Mark. Of course I'm going to do that. Next up, we got the women's title between Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter. Who you got?
It's Jamie Hayter. This is, one of the more drawn out AEW storylines, and the more one of the. How did they make Saraya and Toni Storm so uninteresting in such a short period of time?
I like them.
They're not doing it for me. They're not doing it for me at all. And also, does anybody realize that Jamie Hayter's still champion? Does anybody even realize that she had the title?
That's what I think is unfortunate here, is because she won the title, she defended it a few times, and then this Outcast story happened, and then she hasn't defended it since. And it was almost like they forgot about it, and they're like, we have a pay-per-view coming up, let's just have this match. The match makes sense because it was Toni Storm that injured Hayter.
Right.
So it does make sense. I've seen a few people say, like, this is just dumb. They're just throwing it. Like, no, there's sense to it. If you're not liking the story, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I personally am finding some enjoyment on it. I think this match is going to be great because I think the last time they wrestled, it was one of AEW's best women's matches, period. So if we're going to get that again, hopefully they can duplicate that or maybe elevate it a little bit more and have a better match. I'm not betting against Jamie Hayter here, though. That would be crazy. That'd be crazy to take it off for and give it back.
I'd love to see Toni Storm win the title eventually, but she's not now.
Yeah. Anthony says he's got Jamie Hayter taking over. We got Courtney saying, I'm going to say lose. No, lose taking Hayter. Okay. Yeah, Hayter. It has to be Hayter.
Yeah,
this has to be. Next match, we got the co-main event. I don't think this main events. That's what I said, everybody. I don't think this main events. The four-way for the women, the AEW World Championship. Who you got?
4 guys and 1 star. And the 1 star is going to come out and win. And it's MJF.
Darby out. Oh.
Darby's another one. Darby's another one who, the hottest guy on the roster. And I'm sorry. This is going to sound crazy. You're probably going to want to murder me after this one. So I know you're a big Darby guy.
I will.
I think Sting's the worst thing that's ever happened to Darby Allin.
That's crazy.
And a lot of people have been telling me that. But here's the thing. The second Sting debuted in AEW, every bit of Darby's solo success got derailed, and he got put into a Sting storyline.
That's fine, though.
It would be okay if Darby wasn't the TNT champion at the time and went 6 months without defending the title. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I'm going to get back to being a fighting champion. And then lost the belt almost immediately to Miro.
No, he never even had it that long. He was a fighting champion.
There was
there was a period after he lost the title where he wasn't wrestling. He did a few tag
and that was even worse. But there was a period where he had the title where there were 3 pay-per-views in a row. He didn't defend it because he was in mixed tag matches with Sting.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. I don't remember it being not defending it that long.
It was actually quite a while, and I remember that it was quite a while because I remember this was right around the time where Nakamura had the Intercontinental title, and he wasn't defending the title a lot either.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, it's funny how everybody's calling out, calling it out for Nakamura, but no one's saying anything about Darby Allin. I think Darby had a great run. I think he lost the title. He had the interest got back up to a point with Punk where he was still looked at as this main guy. After Punk, man, it was just he fell completely off. It was okay. He gets thrown into this story with Sting here. Okay, he goes there. Then look, the whole thing with Samoa Joe just hurt Samoa Joe more than it made Darby look better. You know, it just.
See, I disagree with that one too. That's where I kind of started leaning more towards Darby, because in those matches against Samoa Joe, Darby Allin looks like the most realistic wrestler in the world to me.
Oh,
because
Darby's amazing.
He is fighting for his life, and I've never seen it more clear than in those matches. I think the Samoa Joe trilogy is one of the better trilogies AEW's had, because they're perfect for each other. Samoa Joe is a very vicious, mean-looking dude who's throwing Darby around, and Darby's the kind of guy's like, throw me around, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
And when he gets his offense in, he delivers everything 120%, and he's literally fighting for his life. That's crazy. Hold on, I got the cage match up. I'm looking at the TNT title run where he beat Cody for the title, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. That must be a typo right there. That's weird. Oh no, okay, that's the month. So TNT title. Lou, are you fucking with me, man?
That'd be crazy.
He's picking MJF because he's better than you, and you know it. He ain't better than Darby, baby. Courtney's picking Sammy. Anthony's got MJF to retain. We got some different names here. I like that. I
don't think any of these other guys have been built up well enough to take the belt over MJF. I think MJF should still be champion for a long period of time. I think if AEW wants to keep him under contract, and they should want to keep him under contract, MJF should be the guy that holds this title for like a year.
So he went 2 months, almost 2 months without defending it.
Okay, yeah, it was something like that. Like there was, and then like it was like he defended it once. And there was another gap.
That was before Sting.
And I feel like
because he was teaming up with Cody Rhodes.
And I feel like after Sting came in, like there was like a similar thing. Like they
did a street fight at a pay-per-view at AEW Revolution, but he was defending the TNT title like every week outside of that.
Okay, all right, that's fair. So maybe
one pay-per-view where he did the tag with Sting. But there was 2 months where he didn't defend it after he won it because he was teaming up with Cody, the guy he took it from. So it's weird, but but yeah, I want Darby to win this so bad. I think everyone knows that, but I'm going to take MJF. I'm trying to be smart here. I'm making a pick. MJF should retain here, and he probably will. I'll pop hard if Darby wins, though. And he's the only other one I could see actually having it.
Yeah, the other two, I don't even like. Nobody's even said Jungle Boy. He's just not there yet, promo wise.
Honestly, I don't think he'll ever be. If he's not going to get better at those promos, then it's never going to happen for him. Unfortunately, I love watching Jungle Boy wrestle, but
same.
You gotta be able to do that other stuff, or you can't be champion. Sorry, that's just that. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. No, she's not. This is a joke we got going to. AJ Styles is apparently the daddy. No, he's not. Look what that AJ stuff we were talking about last week got to. He's got the same name, last name. I'm over that. So that's the show. You got MJF too, correct?
Yep.
Okay, that's the show, everybody. We did some predictions for you.
Yeah,
what's the other? Oh, that's right, we did. Because I don't give a shit about the Elite.
I can tell.
Let me rephrase that. I don't give a shit about the Young Bucks.
There you go.
Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite and then Anarchy in the arena match. I really wish this would have been a blood and guts match for freaking Pete's sake.
Why isn't this a blood and guts match?
Because someone pointed out, I think it's my buddy David, who I do the Dynamite recap with this week. He'll be back. They've always done that on Dynamite. It's never been a pay-per-view match. Whereas Anarchy, it's a I know the response or the reasoning is silly, but I'm the kind of person that's like, I don't care if it's silly as long as there's a reason that makes sense. And if that's a match that they literally designate for their Dynamite, I'm willing to listen to it. It just does suck because this is a violent feud, not a corny feud. And Anarchy in the Arena is corny to me.
I agree.
Yeah, Lou here taking Blackpool Combat Club, smart man.
Look, I want it to be the Blackpool Combat Club, but I think the Elite takes it. I think that this is I think they have to look really good if they're going to be anchoring the Wednesday show. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. The Elite wins the Anarchy in the Arena, and then the Anarchy in the Arena match. Yeah. Here's my thing. If the Elite win, I'm gonna be mad. And I'm going to be mad for the same reason I was kind of a little bit perturbed. That's a word for you. At the end of Dynamite, because they jumped the Young Bucks in the parking lot earlier in the night. They jumped Kenny Omega, and then they were fresh. All four of them just fresh, running on adrenaline from beating the piss out of those guys, staying in the ring. So Kenny's wounded. The Young Bucks are wounded. One of them only has one arm. And then Hangman Page comes out, and he has one eye. And then they go in there and manhandle the Blackpool Combat Club. That is silly to me. Like, they didn't have, like, they should have had the jump on them if you're going to have them standing tall over the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, I agree.
All wounded. And now you're going to tell me they're wounded going into this match and they're going to beat these badasses, the Blackpool Combat Club? I'm sorry, that's silly. And
I agree.
The only logical way it happens is if they pin Wheeler Yuta. But it's like, are you really wanting to do that with Wheeler Yuta? All this groundwork you've laid with this man, you've done a fantastic job, like, elevating him and everything.
Fantastic might be a little bit too far. They've done an admirable job.
Okay. Did you ever think Wheeler Yuta would be in a main event kind of match in AEW?
No, I don't think he belongs.
I think he's in one now. Whether this is the main event or not, I think this is a main event match. And if he's in this match, he doesn't even seem out of, like, he fits. He's not out of place.
I was going to say he seems so out of place in this match.
How does he seem out of place, though? Because, like, the matches he's had with some of these guys has been incredible.
Look, here's the thing. Wheeler Yuta has done a great job as a wrestler to impress me. AEW has not done a good enough job, in my opinion, to make Wheeler Yuta seem like he's as vicious and as mean as his Blackpool Combat Club buddies.
But the idea is that he's not as vicious as them. He's still under their tutelage.
Sure, and that's fine. But I think
that's what I get from him, because he had to earn his way in, and that match with Moxley was, I'll give all the kisses in the world to that one. That was great. And I feel like he is, because I hated Wheeler Yuta before the Blackpool Combat Club. I thought he was corny. He was lame. There's no charisma. I still don't think he has that much charisma. But he was just boring. Like, it was just like, why is this guy on the show? They put him in Combat Club, and I was like, okay. And I think he's excelled. I think he's done a really good job.
Here's my thing. I think he's still boring. I think everybody around him is just so good that he just seems less boring.
Okay, dude, I liken it, and it's gonna sound like this is how much I'm banking on this. I liken it to Dom and Judgment Day. Dom on his own wouldn't have worked. I don't think this would have worked on his own. It had to be with Judgment Day. Wheeler Yuta needs the Blackpool Combat Club to get to where he's going.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah. Do I think Wheeler Yuta could challenge MJF for the world title out of a paper? No, absolutely not. But in this scenario, he fits great, I think. He's still getting mentored. Yeah, so my whole reason here is, like, I think they've done a lot of groundwork with him, and to have him in this scenario and he's there just to take the pin, because I don't see Bryan Danielson doing it. I don't see John Moxley doing it. That man never gets pinned. I don't see it being Cesaro. Cesaro's been, or Claudio. Sorry, everybody. Claudio's been very well protected in AEW. The Elite, Hangman Page ain't getting pinned. The Bucks aren't getting pinned. Kenny Omega ain't getting pinned. That leaves Wheeler Yuta. I think, man, I just made myself mad about this match. I'm going to forget everything I said. I'm going to go ahead and forget it. I think Blackpool Combat Club should win. I do think the Elite win, though.
Who has the most to benefit from here? That's the reason why I say the Elite. I think that
Claudio.
So you think that the next logical step for MJF to defend the title, it would be somebody, because I think that if the Elite win this puts Kenny Omega on the next challenger for MJF.
I think Kenny Omega has other fish to fry before that. I do think Kenny Omega takes the title off MJF. I just think that's later. I think Kenny Omega has other things he has to take care of.
I think
I think Claudio's your Ring of Honor champion, and if you want him to come across as a big champion, he's in this big spot. Have him get a win here. That's your Ring of Honor world champion. He's the only world champion in this match. Let him get the pin that shows everybody, like, he is that guy.
I'm okay with that.
Doesn't need it. Danielson doesn't need it. Yuta would be forced. The Bucks don't need it. Page doesn't need it, and Omega don't need it. I think
agree.
It's huge for Claudio.
Yeah.
But
and also another thing, just real quick, I want to touch on this real quick before we go off, because I know this is probably going to be announced this week. I can't wait to see Jay White and Ricky Starks as well. That's probably going to end up being announced.
The match on Dynamite was great until they DQ'd it, but the
Yeah.
DQ made sense. I won't.
Right.
It did make
And
sense.
AEW does DQ so little, I didn't even get mad about it. I was like, okay, they're setting up for it, so that's fine.
But then again, they're both baby faces right now, so I don't even know how that would work.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even
what I'm
know.
saying.
God, I don't know. But Takeshita is going to be coming back to take on Kenny Omega, so I think that might play into this whole match at Double or Nothing. I think that's who is going to be aligned. Oh, he's clearly going to be aligned with Don Callis, and he's going to make an appearance at Sunday nights. So, MJF versus Jon Moxley. Nah, we already did that one when he won the title, so you can't revisit it that soon. MJF versus Adam Cole is the next one. I think that's what it is.
I think that makes sense too, yeah.
But that's the show, everybody. I appreciate everybody for joining us. Thank you for participating. We had a very, very fun show. We had some new heads in the chat. Always appreciate it. So, Anthony, thank you for joining us. Amanda, thank you for always being here with us, babe. We had Lou. We had Courtney. We had my buddy Tom. Sorry, Tidey had to leave, everybody, but it's his birthday tomorrow. He's going out to celebrate. Sorry we had to keep him so late, but this is a big week of wrestling. I had to talk about a bunch of stuff. Kenny Omega dub. That's Colton. Colton, thank you for joining us, bud. But yeah, so that's the show. I will be back tomorrow with the Raw recap. I missed last week. Weather sucks, but I'll be back tomorrow night with that. I will also be back on Wednesday on this channel right here with the Dynamite recap. My buddy David will be joining me with that one again. And then this week, I think I have another Meet the Wrestle Buddies over on the Wrestle Buddy channel. So check that out. It's my buddy Critch. No, I don't even know at this point. There's a lot of people involved, and I don't have a calendar for me, so I don't know. I do have one coming out this week though, so stay tuned for that. And then obviously next week right here, we'll try and do a live show as Double or Nothing's on. Maybe I might cancel the show. I don't know yet. We will find out, and I'll let y'all know. So if you're not in the know, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're following the Drip King of Wrestling PAW cast over on Twitter. That's _PAW_cast. That's where you can get all the information there. And with that, now's your chance. Say your goodbyes, Albert. Let them know what they need to know, and then we will.
Slam Sessions Network on YouTube. Give me a like. Watch some of the old stuff. Some new stuff coming up there pretty soon, probably in the next 2 weeks. You'll see something brand new debuting on there, so keep an eye out.
There you go, everybody, and make sure you got that notification bell on so you don't miss it. NXT Battleground. Didn't even think about that. That's this week as well. Man.
Wow, that's right. Yeah.
This weekend's a lot of wrestling for the people.
It's going to be a lot of wrestling this weekend.
A lot of wrestling. But that's the show. So I want everybody to just know that I'm spread the message like I always do. Bye-bye. Great stream. Hey, thank you. Thanks, Colton. Appreciate it. I appreciate all the support everybody gives me. It's much appreciated. I could sit here and spend the next hour talking about how grateful I am that you guys tune in, you guys support me and all that. It's much appreciated. I got some new things coming out. I'm really trying to put my feet to the ground and get some stuff out. So if you're liking what I do, make sure the bell's on so you don't miss the stuff I'm putting out. I'm going to start pumping out content. Starting tomorrow morning, I have a box break from WWE Prisms from 2023. The new cards. We did a box break of that. That's going to be coming out tomorrow morning, so do not miss that. And again, a lot of other stuff. I'm really about to put my feet to the ground. Drip King, thank you, Lou. Much appreciated. So yes, I just wanted to say thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. And also look out for some merch coming up. I'm in the process of doing some things right now to get everything, all my ducks in a row, and then the merch is going to hit. So y'all want to represent and support me even more, you can do it there. But with that said, don't forget to enjoy wrestling, everybody. Just enjoy wrestling. Goodbye.